Welcome, everyone. I am Chris Gore. This is Film Thread, and you're watching Hollywood on the Rocks. It's our live show on Wednesday afternoon where you can enjoy a delicious beverage and talk with us about movies, pop culture, what's happening in the world of independent film. And I'm excited you're with us today. Today on the show, Alan and I will give you our early reaction to Avatar. That's pretty much all we're going to be doing on the show. We might talk about a somewhat controversial tweet that I put out. Apparently, people need humor explained to them, or they're triggered. I don't know. I'm excited you're with us. Let's get things started. Alan Ing is waiting in the wings. I can't wait to talk to all of you. This is my favorite day of the week. Maybe my second favorite day of the week. First favorite day might be, Friday's a good day. Wednesday's a good day. Let's go. Hey, everybody.
You've been talking to all your buddies about Avatar before. It feels like your mistresses, and you come home, and now you want to talk about Avatar again.
Well, yes, I was cheating on Film Threat. No, these are shows I do on a regular basis, like Midnight's Edge in the morning and Nerdrotic Nooner with Gary Beekler. So I am a recurring guest, a regular guest on their shows, which is good. It helps that audience introduces it to what we do here, Alan. So.
Speaking of our audience, it was great to meet everybody at LA Comic-Con this past weekend.
Oh my God. We got to talk about that. Yeah. That panel got 20,000 plus views in less than 24 hours.
I know.
It's a video of our panel, why 99% of movies today are garbage. And it was an unintentionally very diverse panel, oddly. So, and I hope you all watch it on the channel. That's a panel. I've done that panel before, but not with these people. So it was a good mix of people. Alan, which was really fun is like people, they used to recognize me from G4. Now people recognize me from YouTube, which is a first. Did that happen to you?
It was weird being recognized as well. I'm fairly new to this. I love the fact, not only was the panel diverse, but if you look at the audience very diverse. And,
right.
And it's just amazing how you could just talk about a subject that unites everybody, and you're going to find diversity come out through the woodworks.
Right. You'll see people just very passionate. I mean, that's just an LA audience, right? But it was great to see that it was not only like packed, standing room only, and people really were excited to just hear different opinions. So if you went to LA Comic-Con and I met you, thank you so much. It's fun hanging out. It's, I don't know, it's Nerdtopia for me. It's Geekapalooza, whatever. I love LA Comic-Con. I love getting to go to cons. I don't go as much as I used to. I used to travel all over to cons. Now it's just a select few. But we'll do more panels like that. Gary was so excited. Gary from Nerdrotic, he was thinking of bringing the entire FNT crew out next year for a panel. So
that would be amazing.
Or an LA meetup. I mean, they could do it. They could do it for sure. But we have a lot to talk about today. We have to talk about this movie. And then also 4 Words is getting me a lot of heat. And I think it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious only because I think that, because I talked to some people that I know in real life. They're like, wow, you're getting a lot of traction on that tweet. And I'm like, have you been watching me on television since the 90s? Have you seen what I've said on Twitter previously? Have you ever watched a live stream or like spoken to me? I have a sense of humor about stuff. I have a sense of humor about myself, and I love to just sort of goof on things. And I don't know, what can I say? I'll poke the bear every once in a while.
Yeah, you really poke the bear on this one.
But I don't look, Twitter is not real life.
I know.
Twitter is not real life. But before we talk about that, let's see who's in the chat. I really look forward to doing this.
Yeah, we have starred some of the Avatar comments. So
we're gonna save any comments on Avatar for when we talk about it, but let's just see who's here. Let's see. Hannibal Grimm says, I have been reading the replies in that tweet. Holy shit, man. I hope you get a giggle out of my reply. I don't know if I'll see the reply because there's like over 1,000 replies. So, and then Alan Horkins says, "Damn it, Gladuccio, that thumbnail image forced that awful Europop earworm into my subconscious. Need to go wash my ears and subconscious out with some good music." That's cool. Alan Horkins says, "Caught a bit of Gore on Nerdrotic. He seems to like at least parts of Avatar 2. We'll discuss it. We'll discuss it for sure. Philip Hawkins says, "I liked and retweeted Make Marvel Mail Again. Great comment on Twitter. Made me laugh." Well, first of all, Philip, that's why I did that. I did that to make you laugh, to make you smile. I mean, as it is, I've gained 700 new followers since I put that tweet out. I'll see the, so if you don't follow me on Twitter, this is my personal Twitter. This is not Film Threat. Okay. My latest tweet, well, that's from a while back. My latest tweet is, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me unless you call me fat. I actually could lose some weight." So just trying to look, I'm just trying to make people like that's, I mean, I thought that was funny. I'm making fun of myself a little bit. I show I've got a little sense of humor about myself. But this tweet here, oh, look, there we are at the Black Cinema Awards. That's me, my friend Tristan, and Dante James of Verbal Riot. He killed it. Dante killed it on that panel. It was great. It was great. We have we've got a really great group at Film Threat, like where we just really enjoy hanging out together. But here's, this got a little attention. Got a little bit of attention.
So what are the numbers? I can't read those numbers.
Well, it's 471 retweets, 1,200 quote tweets, almost 4,000, closing in on 4,000 likes. The one I was very happy with, James Lindsay quote tweeted me, and I follow James Lindsay, and I was like, oh wow, he doesn't follow me, but he did the quote tweet. It's just to be funny, folks. It's just entertainment. So relax. But I will say a little something about it. Let's see. "Welcome to Fantasy Film Threat," says Shuxy. "Just make entertainment great again. Mega," says Ding Fuking Dong. And then "Ready for some politically agnostic film discussion?" says X. No, okay. I think you're misunderstanding my statement when I say that. When I say politically agnostic media outlet, meaning we cover films from all sides of the political spectrum, as other media outlets do not. They will specifically not review movies on one side of the political aisle. We review all of it. And unfortunately, because of limited time, we can't review it all on our YouTube channel. There's just too many movies. Alan, how many movies do you would say you personally or are reviewed on the Film Thread site on a monthly basis?
Oh gosh, we're talking on average three to four a day. Weekends excluded, so let's do math. About 100, over 100.
No, it's more than that because you forget film festivals. It's probably an average about 150 movies.
Probably.
And so I see a fraction of that. I still see a lot of movies, but there you go.
You got to pick and choose.
Peter Ackery says Bill Maher occasionally does an explaining jokes to idiots section on his show. Maybe Chris should do the same. JTPRX, who's a member, thank you for that. Also, members, check the members only community tab. I got some codes coming out, and today I'll actually share. I'll share screen. I'm going to present. I'm just letting you know this. If you are a member, and membership, it's cheap. It's like it's a small monthly fee. We have a movie. I've got 5 Blu-rays to give away of, where is that? Here it is, for a movie called Alienoid. It's out this week. Really interesting Asian sci-fi film. I have 5 Blu-rays to give away. And at the end of this show, go to the community tab. It's going to be the first 5 people who send me their address in the continental United States, I'm passing it along to the publicist who will mail you the Blu-ray of Alienoid. Okay, so membership has its privileges. So check that out. And thank you for your comment, JTP RX, and for being a member. So I like anything time we get stuff for free, I'm just going to give it to members. And it's going to be a first come, first serve kind of thing. Let's see. Sanjiro Shinjitsu says Chris and Chato are awesome. We got to get Chato on Film Threat. We've talked about it. I DM Chato all the time on Twitter, and we're like, we got to get you on here. He's Canadian time. I thought like, hey, you should come to LA Comic-Con. He's in Canada. So there you go. And Flaccid.
By the way, Canadian time is the same as American time.
Well, it depends on what time zone you're on, East Coast or West Coast.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with whether you're in Canada or not.
Okay, Alan, you're right. Feel free to make fun of me. Cool, but no plungers on the panel. Count me out, says Flaccid Phoenix. Cannot wait for Eric Weber's take on your Avatar 2 take. It's going to be fun, says Patrick Lemire. Yeah, I mean, I talked to Eric already about what I thought. I don't think he agrees with me.
Did he not like it, or?
He did not like it. I think.
Okay.
Oh wait, Amanda Nowicki says, "Poke the cocaine bear, Chris." Hell yeah. And Mama make Marvel mail again, says Hugo M. Thank you for that. Thank you, Amanda Nowicki, for your comment. Hail from Scotland, Chris and Alan, says Easy Tigers. Thank you. And then Chris, where are the 700 thank yous for following me? Yes, I don't thank people who follow me every time on Twitter like Alan does, Sound of One Man Laughing. But thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
I almost shut it off this week. And then
also seriously, make Marvel mail again. The MCU did not work, says Patrick Lemire. It's not my call. That's the call of a multinational mega corporation to decide whether they feel it was successful or not. Yeah, so I don't know. I just said it in jest, but it's bizarre. Solomon Thornton says, saw the Film Threat panel. A job well done. Thank you for that. Alan was the best part of the panel, says the Sound of One Man Laughing. Let me agree with you and say this. Alan had the best comment at the end of the panel. At the end of the panel, it was a great about positivity and like respecting others' opinions. I don't know what it was, Alan, but what you said.
Yeah, it was fuck off, suckers.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that.
That's right. It was. Yeah, no, it's just we need to bring back healthy debate. I mean, one of the weird things of this in-school virtual learning is I get to look at what my daughter actually learns, and we were going over the Constitution, and throughout the Constitution, it held on to this idea that you need to have two sides of a debate, and you need to have people argue over it and try to come up with some kind of compromise or some kind of common ground. And we've lost that. It's completely gone from our vernacular now. It's us against them.
That's too bad. Amanda Nowicki says, you can't make fun of yourself anymore. By making fun of yourself, you inadvertently make fun of other people. I guess, but I also don't care. Chris keeps explaining his jokes. Should we reply with explanations of how we're joking about his jokes? Sure, why not? That's cool. Matthew Hammond for $4.99. I enjoyed Violent Night. I did as well. The acting may not have been the best, but the pacing was nice and the runtime was reasonable. I did not look at my phone once. That should be like a new standard. Didn't look at my phone once. Enjoyed it. So there you go. Morgan Ray is become a new YouTube member. Great. And Dr. D4K Side Bob, Dr. Dark Side Bob. What am I? Dark Side Bob. Sorry, Bob. Your tweet brought me here. First time virgin. Well, buckle up. Because you know how things get. You know how things get here. Alan, you know what can happen?
No, what?
Hated it.
No, look, this occasionally, Alan, people ask for this. Flaccid Phoenix asked for this. I'm just gonna put it out there.
By the way, I don't think you should be telling a first-time virgin to buckle up.
Oh no. I had just,
Yeah, you're gonna get us canceled. We're gonna get thrown off.
Like to have fun. I mean, like anyone who'd ever read Film Threat, the magazine in the 80s and 90s, it was half humor magazine and it was half like serious film magazine. So there you go. Dark Side Bob, thank you for being here. Hope you'll want to come back. Fear the Turtle 21 for 5 says, saw Violent Night and loved it. Now dealing with BS, family, holiday, drama. Been there. Great time for a Film Thread stream to make me laugh. Thanks, guys. Well, I appreciate that. Lay Bird says, where has this channel been all my life? I finally found someone else that sees the destruction of the movie business and cares. Thank you. Well, thank you for your comment. I appreciate that. Yeah, and apparently this is interesting. Apparently Willow is doing horrible ratings. That does not surprise me.
No kidding.
Yeah. There you go. But let's do a reset. I'm just going to do a quick comment on something before we get into Avatar. Just a quick comment. Where's the is there a caption? Gore, I'm just going to do a Gore rant. I don't see it in the it's, you know what? I'm in the wrong one. I'm in the wrong. Hang on, guys. Hang on. Where's my music? Where's my okay, wait. I have to find give me a second. I have to just a second. Just a minute. All right. I have to give me a second, guys. 10 seconds. I know.
Cut the blue wire, then cut the red wire, but only if the third wire is yellow.
Just God, you got it. I'm gonna find it. Where is it? Oh. We need a different background though. Just a minute. Got it. Just hold on, Alan. Hold on. Okay, I got it. All right, got it. This is gonna be quick, but I'll address it because I think it's worth addressing. A freaking IKEA chair. All right, folks. Recently, I put out a tweet, a fairly innocuous tweet, because I thought it would be funny. And I thought, well, just sort of popped into my head. We've sort of spent the last couple years seeing things like the Force is female and the future is female. And guess what? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with those. Nothing wrong with having a Force is female t-shirt. There's nothing wrong with tweeting that and being proud. And I have been witness, having gone to San Diego Comic-Con since the 90s, of seeing what is effectively an all-male Comic-Con grow into an event that's 50-50 male-female. Seriously, if you saw a woman walking around Comic-Con in the early 90s, she either worked at one of the booths as a booth babe, she was a cosplayer, but it was like a spotting of Bigfoot. You didn't see a lot of women at San Diego Comic-Con. And one of the great things about the Marvel Cinematic Universe is the way that it has made female fans of Marvel. Why do women love Marvel so much? Probably because it's basically a Chippendales show with beefcake. You're going to hear many women say, when Chris Evans emerged from the capsule, all chatted out as Captain America, they might have felt something a little down below. When Chris Hemsworth took his shirt off as Thor, they might have gotten a little butterflies in their stomach. And when Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., took his shirt off, and when Paul Rudd took his shirt off, and when every male character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe took their shirt off, which is a trope now. Chris Pratt, everybody. If you're going to be a Marvel male superhero, you will take your shirt off. Take your shirt off for the cameras. Make those ladies happy. And there is nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with sexy men and sexy women playing heroes in movies. But after about the 1 millionth tweet about the future is female, I thought, I want a little equality. I thought, and you know what? This might be kind of funny. And this sort of came out of, I saw an article about, I don't know how true this is, that Marvel is pivoting from, they looked at how successful Phase 4 was, and it wasn't particularly successful. Most of those movies lost money, with the exception of Spider-Man No Way Home. And the other ones that didn't lose money underperformed based on how well Marvel movies had done in the past. I thought, well, what's missing? What's happening? What was missing in Black Panther Wakanda Forever? T'Challa. T'Challa was missing. And for me, having seen that film, the film really came to life when I saw characters like M'Baku or Killmonger. When they were on screen, some different energy. Now, I'm not saying there should be fewer women in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Absolutely not. The more, the merrier. Marvel's got a big tent, but the male energy is missing. And it's part of the reason that people used to go see Marvel movies. I think it's part of the reason people are kind of falling off or not, or less interested, because that balance isn't there. Was it a little too male skewed? Yeah, but so's the audience. The majority of the audience for these things are men. Okay. But I'm happy to welcome all female fans of Marvel. Come on in. Let's celebrate the things we love. Let's talk about how much we love it. So I put out this fairly innocuous tweet. All I said was make Marvel male again. And it's not exactly getting ratioed, but there's a lot of comments, nearly 4,000 likes on it. I don't know how to zoom this in.
You have to do it through Chrome. There's the zoom in feature. The 3 dots on the far right of the.
Wait, Alan, how do I find that? Where is it?
On the URL line, there's 3 dots all the way to the right.
I don't see it. 3 dots. How do I do this? Wait, I'm doing it wrong.
I wonder if you hit the plus button.
Hang on. Give me a second. I'll figure it out. I'm under a lot of pressure. You see it now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I figured it out.
Oh, white people.
Some people do. The thing that's funny about this is obviously the people post. There's two people posting. People that have no idea that I have a sense of humor, and I meant this in jest. And I thought it was funny. But humor, I think humor that I enjoy, always has a layer of truth. There's a layer of truth in this. It clearly triggered some people, and people saw it differently maybe than was intended. I don't know what else to say about that. But it is what it is. So it got a lot of attention, including, according to someone who just direct messaged me on Twitter, there's an article on the Mary Sue basically just ripping me to shreds, which is funny. Very funny. What can I say? But look, I don't think there's any. I stand by it. I'm not going to delete it. People were saying delete it. Here's the thing that I got upset about. I got upset after is people that I know, people that I have spent time with physically in person, I've drank with, been to their houses or hung out with them, that could have texted me or direct messaged me, calling me out, telling me to delete the tweet. How dare you? How dare you try to tell me how to express myself? I would never presume to tell you, Alan, to delete your tweet. I will tease you relentlessly about your thanking every single person who follows you. Follow Alan at MyPalAl, at MyPalAl on Twitter.
No, personally, thank you for doing that.
Actually, don't follow Alan at MyPalAl. Do not follow him. But look, I've always used humor, like in my family, always had a sense of humor. If anyone gets a little too full of themselves in my family, we all just kind of mock them and have fun. This is the attitude I have. I don't think I could even work with someone that doesn't have a sense of humor about themselves, which is why I think Alan and I have worked together for so many years now, is I think we both have a sense of humor. And go see Alan at National Comedy Theater in San Diego and see his improv show. I have been to the show. It's great. I'm working in plugs with serious points. Do you see what I'm saying here?
Yes, I know. I appreciate that very much.
Great. So in any case,
I do have that Mary Sue article, by the way.
Oh, you do? Do you want to share it? I don't think I want to read. You know what? I don't want to read it.
I mean, it's pretty basic to what she says. You know, that you believe that there will be no more men in the Marvel universe. and that's silly. That's very silly of you, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says, you're reportedly a director and writer, and I'm not exaggerating when I say I looked up what movies and TV show he's done and didn't recognize a single title on that list.
That's because she's
burn.
That's because she's 22 years old and getting paid nothing to write the article.
Yeah.
So I don't care about that article. Let Ryan Cannell do a video on that, or Yellow Flesh. It's more in their wheelhouse to cover that stuff. We really don't cover that stuff all too often. But here's what upset me most about this Twitter was people I know saying things to me. You really find out who your friends are when something like this happens. And I was I just was like, I tried to be funny with some of them. Like Joe Layden, like quote tweeted me, and I just said, "You're my favorite Joe." I just tried to be funny. Lighten up, Francis. Probably one of the greatest lines spoken by Warren Oates in the movie Stripes. But lighten up, Francis is what I would say to everybody on that. But one tweet at replying to me really upset me. And let me just say, this is where a line was crossed. Where a person I know, a person I've known since the early 2000s, who I worked with at G4 TV, part of the old G4 that is, said that John Schnepp would not agree with you on this. He invoked the name and a person who died in 2018, my friend John Schnepp, who I have known since the 90s. I met John Schnepp at the Chicago Underground Film Festival in 1993. And he and I have been friends. We're friends since then. Been to comic conventions together, driven to San Diego Comic-Con, been on countless panels, shared booth space, slept in hotel rooms, partied and hung out. And we've had a conversation that lasted 25 years of us. And to invoke and use the death of my friend, John Schnepp, who I knew much better than you, is disgusting. It is disgusting. How dare you do that? Who knows what John Schnepp would think about the current state of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? And whatever John thinks, I would respect that because I respect others' opinions who differ from mine. And who knows? And I miss this guy. He inspired me. He was the one that invited me on Collider Heroes, not anybody else. John Schnepp enjoyed having me on that show because he and I were just like, we know our nerd. We have different sort of, he is this nerd knowledge. I have that nerd knowledge. We nerded out about Jack Kirby's Machine Man. You should read the first issues that Jack Kirby illustrated. They're brilliant.
Yep.
He also invited on Robert Meyer Burnett. And when the three of us were on, it was magic. And when he was supposed to be on a panel, John was going to be on a panel called the Last Jedi Debate. And Dante James was on that panel. I was on the panel. J.C. Reifenberg, other people from Film Threat, Anthony Raybench. John Schnepp was supposed to be on the panel. I had his placard. Okay. And we dedicated the panel to him and learned as we were walking to the panel that John had passed away in the hospital. Okay. So the panel was tough to get through, but we did it. And there might be the audio. I think there's an audio version.
Yeah, it's on the YouTube channel.
It's on our YouTube channel, the audio of that panel. But what we did afterwards is I took the little placard of John Schnepp's name and I went to the Hyatt Hotel in the bar because that's where John always was. I could always count on John being there. John and Holly were there. We'd hang out. Dude. And we would always do our nerd voice. I was checking out the thing here. Come on, you sweaties. Who doesn't love John Schnepp? So I went, there was an impromptu meetup there in tribute to John. And I put the little placard on the table and everyone was just sitting around. And I was just, of course, people were taking fucking selfies of themselves in front of it to prove that they were there, which is fucking weird because I'm just sort of like shell shocked, right? Like Comic-Con without John, like what? He was an inspiration to us all. And then some fucking asshole, we're far enough in the show, I can use the words fucking asshole. Some fucking asshole comes up to me from the YouTube space, and I will not name this person because it was the most disgusting thing. Some fucking asshole comes up to me, shows me on his phone that he's already designed a t-shirt in tribute to John. This is hours after all this happened. Hours. I'm back from the last Jedi debate. I'm shell shocked. I'm sitting at the Hyatt. I'm like, I'm kind of not, and I'm not in a party mood for sure. And this fucking asshole shows me on his phone a picture of the John Schnepp t-shirt he's going to sell in tribute. And I said, what are you doing? Like, what the fuck are you doing? And I asked, like, who's this? What you're monetizing him right now? There are really some fucking disgusting people here, and I'm tolerant of a lot of stuff, and I love a diversity of opinions and whatnot, but there are places that go too far for me, and this was one of those cases, and I'm angry about it. I have not named any of the people that I've referenced, and I won't. But for those people to call me out so they can look like a good guy on Twitter, I hope you're happy with yourselves. I hope you're happy. Hang on a sec. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Someone's
yeah,
at the door. Someone's at the door, I think. I'll be right back.
Yeah. No, I just don't understand how, I don't know, why go that far? What good does that do? How does that change the discourse in any way? I think for me, just listening to all this and everything that's gone on, how is it that we've gotten to a point in society where we've just gotten too sensitive about the littlest things? Whatever happened to our backbone? The whole sticks and stones thing. I'll just throw out there, Asian kid in an all white neighborhood, heard things, but it's just, so what? I went on. So, anytime someone has ever used an Asian slur against me, it was just like, I took the attitude of, I pity you and just move on. I'm never going to meet you again. So believe what you want to believe. But, what has happened to where we're teaching people, or where people are basically embracing victimhood and not being able to grow from it, and not being able to be the better person anymore. And your tweet, agree with it or not, how have we gotten to the point where that's the tweet of the day that's going to set you off, and that's going to ruin your day? It's like, do you have nothing better to do in life? Do you have no backbone anymore? And this has been my frustration for the last 7 years. People just don't know how to buck up and move on.
Well, Alan, I don't believe that you were a little Asian kid. I think you were born fully grown, like a Pandora resident.
You're not that far off. I was pretty tall as a child.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. Alan is very tall. You got to be over 6 foot, right?
6'1", yeah.
But look, I'll just leave it with there are things worth being upset about, and a tweet isn't one of them. There are things that are worth being upset about, and the death of my friend John Schnepp, I think about him every day because he really inspired me. He would invite me on a show and I wasn't really doing YouTube. He goes, just start, man. He was saying, like, just live. Don't even worry if the quality is good. You don't need a camera. You don't need a mic. Just start talking to people. And it was after he passed away. And I started doing more of that. I mean, I'd already, I don't know. I thought, well, there's people I watch and people I really enjoy. I don't know if I want to like throw my hat in the ring. And I think I need to because Film Threat certainly needs to be a voice, because I think Film Threat needs to be a voice, because that balance of between, we're talking about big Hollywood stuff. That's hence the name of the show, Hollywood on the Rocks. But also we talk about indie films too, that you need to know about, because the point is that you vote with your dollars. But you were talking about victimhood. The quote that always strikes me is, when you choose to be a victim, you become your own oppressor. Mm-hmm. And that is a choice. You choose to be a victim. I've had things happen in my life. I could have blamed other people. I could have gone off. I could have acted like a victim. But when you act like a victim, you're powerless. So don't be your own oppressor. Don't allow other people to control you. And I can't wait to read the Mary Sue article. I'll bet it's hilarious.
It is hilarious.
Good. Okay, great.
Well, the only thing I'd say about victimhood is, I think one reason people embrace victimhood is because it garners sympathy. And the longer you remain a victim, the more people who are going to come around, put their arm around you, and then walk away and live their lives. And you just can't. That's not the emotional energy you can live off of.
Precisely. So, look, we're going to get to Avatar. I'm so sorry. There's like 1,000 people watching right now. Please smash that like button. If you're new to the show, subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, we will talk about Avatar.
We are going to talk. Well, look, we'll talk about Avatar, I promise. But please subscribe to the show. Slap that like button, and let's move on.
Oh, wow.
Let's go to your comments real quick. Then we're talking about Avatar for the rest of the show. And thank you so much for your patience. I had to get that off my chest. Patrick Lemire says, Alan Ing, I was fat and had a stutter. People called me Piglet. Now I am in good shape, living a good life. My bullies are basically where they were 40 years ago, only worse. Living well is best. Patrick Lemire, you're a gentleman and a scholar, and I appreciate it. My middle name is
I'm approaching a significant milestone in terms of high school reunion.
Oh no!
And you go back and you realize what you did to me and what you said to me back when we were teenagers. Why am I still holding on to that?
Yeah, I would never. Yeah, I went to a couple of my reunions. I went to the 5 and the 10. I have not been back since, but I do keep in touch with people from high school, which is crazy. Twitter is a toilet wall. If you lick, don't be surprised. It tastes sour, says Alan Horkin. Dom T, F-bomb scoreboard. Chris 11, Alan 0. Come on, Alan.
Didn't I use an F-bomb? I thought I did use an F-bomb today.
No, you did not use an F-bomb today. You did not.
69.
Well, but I don't know why we're closing in on 69,000. 69,000 subs. We're going to get there very soon. Tucker Time, Schnepp used that nerd voice in the Comic-Con movie by Spurlock. Great guy. Yeah, Schnepp was great. He blew up after that, and I love. By
the way, so what if he might have disagreed with you? I mean,
yeah, no, we disagreed on stuff all the time.
I know.
We would argue about it like passionate, and then we would just move on to the next thing. People don't know how to do that. They don't know how to talk to people. Mm-hmm. Michael Seagriff says social media is largely cancer. Chris brings out the worst in too many people. Agreed. JTPRX. I miss John Schnepp. Only thing I watched on Collider. Same. Although I would watch John Campea every once in a while, and I still do. Michael Seagriff, make Marvel writers talented again.
Yes,
the current bunch are pathetic.
Even the artists.
Patrick Lemire, don't worry, Chris. People will be outraged by something new tomorrow. True. Titter. I'm sorry, folks. Lord Thoth says Twitter. Here's Alan's Twitter is my pal Al.
My pal.
Don't follow Alan because I always get the. It's funny. We just goof on each other. Okay, Amanda Nowicki says, you've made it on Twitter when you trigger all the right people. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you, Amanda. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. I am a father to a son. I'm a father to a daughter. I want them to both have role models. I want them to have female. There are a lot of female heroes right now. There's been a lot in the past. Well, what's funny is that Jennifer Lawrence made this sort of really uninformed comment, forgetting the fact that Ripley, the character, exists, Sigourney Weaver, Uma Thurman, in Kill Bill. There's so many great female action stars. There's a very ignorant comment. I don't blame her. I blame her management. But yeah, being a father to a son and a daughter, it's important that they have role models. Not just in fiction, but in the real world. And there's so few these days. Michael Giger for $50. Thank you so much. Wow. That is incredibly generous. No comment. Michael, did you mean to post a comment? Post a comment and we'll get to it. Wow. I appreciate that support.
Yeah, thank you
so much. Thank you so much. Sound of One Man Laughing says, I disagree, Chris. I felt that lack of men in Wakanda was a point of the movie and presented as negative. Movie doesn't end showing us his daughter. That's true. Sound of One Man Laughing. And we've disagreed online. And you know what? I appreciate you being here and I appreciate your opinion and your voice being a part of the mix. That's part of it. I was a bear, says Chris. I understood what you were saying. However, wouldn't a better way to say it be make Marvel male and female again? Why can't it be both? I agree with that. I agree.
It can be both. I think you're referring to the imbalance at the moment.
Right. Holy Michael Tynan for 100.
Ooh.
Here's some support for you guys. Really love the LA 99% garbage panel. You were both great. Alan was amazingly articulate and convincing. Cheers. Alan's he's not convincing. This is just Alan normal. Like, he's no different off the show as like when we're on a panel or just like in real life when we're talking about stuff. Alan will give me the big heads up, like, oh man, you need to see this movie, Donnie's Bar Mitzvah. You talked about it on the panel, Donnie's Bar Mitzvah. Thank you, Michael.
Call me brother. That was the other one.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Lord Thoth, great female leads. We all forget. Sarah Michelle Gellar. That's right. Buffy. Mm-hmm. There's just so many. M. Mooney says 1,085 watching now.
Oh, hey.
It's actually
we're at 1111 right now.
1111, which is like kind of a lucky number. Thank you, M. Mooney. Smash that like button. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Marvel should be male and female. I wasn't saying it shouldn't. So Patrick Lemire says, I will say we do need fewer women in Marvel. The MCU has to send 2 women with every guy. That is forced. And I'm pretty sure you're joking. So, and a man in the wiki, men in Marvel need to get in shape before taking a superhero role. Women in Marvel just show up on set. There is something.
Well, if you know what women have to do to keep their figures together, I'm not sure that it's as easy as that.
Yeah. Well, I just posted a tweet about my weight just to goof on myself. There were some unflattering photos. Some of it is like the angle, and some of it is like, on video, I don't always look as thin as I am in real life. But seriously, I'm already actually talking to Pauly from Latino Slant. Flaccid Phoenix, oh no, this is Chris Gore's Kanye rant. Not really. And Sound of One Man laughing. Slap that subscribe and dick punch that like. You're making me laugh and cheering me up here, so I appreciate that. Dr. Meatball, Marvel is in a dilemma with the X-Men. Your best theoretical casting of Logan would be Anthony Starr. If you've seen Banshee, you know. But he's already Homelander, so they won't cast him. Yeah, they probably won't. If someone's already in another cinematic universe.
No, they've done that. I think they're more
Ryan Reynolds
crossovers like that.
Ryan Reynolds, Green Lantern, and Deadpool. So
as Logan.
Yeah, as Logan. No, not as Logan. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Not sure about that. And yeah, there's a lot of other. I gotta. There's just the comments are on fire. We're gonna have to. You know what? We should pivot. We're gonna save your comments, some of these more comments, to the end. But there's just great. Thank you, Dark Side Bob, for joining us. So I appreciate it. But let's get into it, and let's talk about. I have to reset here. How do I? Just a second, Alan. You're gonna have to give me a moment here. All right. Here we go. We gotta lose the music. I'm slow on the update. All right. Alan and I both saw Avatar: Way of Water yesterday. Is it Way of Water or The Way of Water?
I believe it's Way of Water. Let me it's The Way of Water.
Okay. All right. The Way of Water. The Way of Water. And I've spoken on it about it briefly on some other YouTube channels. This is our social reaction. Zero spoilers. We will not talk about the story with any level of depth. Very brief on story at all. So we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about. We'll give you our early reaction. You might have heard mine on another show. I really want to hear what Alan thinks. But before he does that, Alan, I received a package addressed to Alan.
Oh,
you see this? Can you see? Okay,
cool. That looks very festive.
It looks festive. It's for you.
Oh.
It says to Alan, but should I open it?
Well, who's it from?
Well, I'm going to just pull this out of here. It's heavy, really heavy. Oh, Alan, this is for you. This is for you. It's a bundle of cash. I don't know how much money that is. It's a lot. It says to Alan from Disney.
Oh, Avatar was great. I mean, it's going to make $10 billion.
Look at this, to Alan from Disney. And that's, I don't know, that's got to be about $100,000 there. Like, look at that. Yeah. Look at that cash. But
I would suggest everyone, when Avatar opens, see it 5 times over the weekend. And don't lay him out and go to a matinee. Pay full price, please.
Look, Alan is a fan of Disney. Alan is not a shill. Alan's opinions are Alan's opinions. He is like, I am predisposed to like movies made by David Lynch or movies made by John Waters or Martin Scorsese or Quentin Tarantino. There's certain filmmakers I like. There are certain genres I like. I like low budget, cheesy horror, like trauma movies. If they're done well and I'm entertained, good. So I think we all have our personal biases. And I don't want to speak for you, but you're a Disney fan.
Yeah. I've been a Disney fan since I would say birth. My earliest recollection of ever going to a movie theater was seeing Mary Poppins. And then I've seen $1 Million Duck in the theater. Hey now. Saw Pete's Dragon many times in the theater.
But I really want to hear your honesty.
I've seen Song of the South in the theater. How's that? How's that for cred?
All right. Okay, cool. But Alan, tell us your early reaction to the film.
Yeah. So I'll just say this. I liked it a lot better than the first movie. I did enjoy myself. But throughout the movie, I kept thinking to myself, how is this movie at one point the top grossing film of all time? I had a good time. I understand why people like it. I just don't understand it just seems somewhat overrated to me. But it's weird that the discussion about this movie will not be whether it's good or whether it's bad, but whether it becomes the 4th highest grossing film of all time. And that's the weird thing about this particular movie. Strip away all of that, I had a great time. The first movie was about the military takeover of Pandora. This one scales that down a lot, and this movie is about family, which is something that I had to say was quite refreshing. This movie stars, sorry, I have to actually look up these things. Sam Worthington as Jake once again. He's the male leader of his family. He is a warrior. He is the one who defends his family. And then you have Zoe Saldana, who is the mother, who is sort of the nurturer of the family. And it was weird. You have 2 teen boys who want to be great warriors and protectors of the family, and 2 daughters who want to save animals. It was weird and refreshing all at the same time to see kind of a movie that just went back to old style storytelling, old style traditional values. And there it was. I'll say this. I think, for me to say that this was better than the first one, I think it's a matter of preference. I think I like the water effects here. I like the water landscape a whole lot better than I do the forest. And that's a personal preference, growing up on the beach as long as I have. So, I think this movie has a good shot of making a lot of money. It's weird because if it makes $1 billion, it will still be considered a failure. But I think, and I'll just say this last: if you were never a fan of Avatar, the first one, there's no hope for you for this one. So sit this one out. But I think this will appeal to a new generation of viewers. So I'm generally positive about Avatar: The Way of Water.
My opinion is a little bit more nuanced. Okay, because I need to give the context for this. I saw this at a early screening, which I think we were seeing it around the same time, you and I. I was in a theater that seats about 500, and there were about 20 of us in the theater, maybe 25 tops.
No kidding.
Okay.
Mine was packed.
Yours was packed. Mine was kind of empty on a Tuesday afternoon in Burbank, and the publicist working on the film had to come inside and tell people to stop laughing because seriously, some of the dialogue in this thing is so bad. It's laughably, laugh out loud, terrible dialogue. Okay. James Cameron, not known for his dialogue. Some of the things that happen in this movie are so incredibly stupid and dumb that you just have to shake your head and go, what? And it just like, it made me just shake my head. It was just utterly ridiculous. It has all of the flaws of a James Cameron movie, which is bad dialogue, just like excuses for action scenes, and then a third act that kind of drags on and on, where as soon as you think it's over, it's not over, and it's you think it's over and it's not over. It's also like James Cameron threw in the blender all of his best work, everything from Aliens to Titanic to the first Avatar to a little bit of Terminator in there. Like it's like every one of his movies just thrown in a blender, and there it all is. And it's, part of it, because it's a 3 hour and 10-minute running time, it feels a bit episodic in the sense that about every 30 minutes, it kind of pivots to a different thing. You could literally chop it up into 6 30-minute episodes, and it would be like a season of a show. And so I've got a lot of nitpicks and flaws, including things I can't talk about now because they happen in the third act. There are just some logic things that just a lot of things that don't make sense. And you are going to be able to nitpick this movie to death. And I'm telling you, you're going to see a lot of people talking about how bad this movie is on YouTube. A lot. Okay. And I would agree with all of those criticisms. But I sat there and there was a friend of mine she's a critic, and we kept looking at each other like, is this as dumb as I think it is? Yeah. It's also, part of it feels like a YA novel, like a young adult, because a lot of the concerns of the characters it focuses on Jake Sully's kids. He has 2 sons and he has 2 daughters. And so it focuses, there are parts of the movie where the story is just about the kids for the next 30 minutes, right? Where it kind of goes off on their adventures. And it's definitely kind of dumbed down for kids. I'd say that parts of this movie are specifically made for children. In spite of everything that bothered me about the movie, all the stuff I thought was bad, all the stuff I thought was cringe, all the stuff I thought was just kind of lazy, I had a great time watching this movie. I had a great time. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing it again. And let me tell you why this movie stands out. Let me tell you why this movie stands out amongst everything else that's out there. We have just been inundated with agenda-driven films. And James Cameron has made no secret that all of his movies have some sort of message. Titanic is female empowerment coming of age story. A lot of his films deal with ecological issues. The first,
yeah, and you're talking very liberal messages too.
Right. The first Avatar is about leaning into colonizers and plundering of resources. Right, they're getting the unobtainium, and this is about whaling. It is really specifically leans into this is a message about whaling.
Don't kill whales.
Yeah, exactly. But what I loved about the film is the fact that all of the characters are blue. I mean, they're blue, right? And you've got like the forest people, which is Jake Sully and his family. And you have the water people. Right?
The reef people. Yeah.
The reef people. They live with, by the water, and they spend time. You may notice this in the trailers. There's a species, they're slightly different species. They have thicker tails that are like fins, and their arms are like fins. They have like this flesh here that's like more like a fin to excel in the water. But what the movie, if you look at it at its core, it does something that other movies we've seen this year do not do. It's everything in it is relatable. It's about family, not only about the thing that stood out to me, a strong father, the patriarch of the family, Jake Sully, his wife, who is she's strong in her own way. And it's about relating to the family members. They fight amongst each other, the kids fight, and everything in it is relatable, from family dynamics to coming of age to moving. It's a traumatic thing for a child to move from one place to another, have to make all new friends. Suddenly you're being bullied. Then suddenly those bullies become your friends. And everything in the movie, if you break it down, James Cameron is tapping into something. It's something that resonates with everyone who's a human being, regardless of what color you are, what ethnicity, what gender, it doesn't matter. At its heart, it's a story about a family. There are just amazing father-son interactions, mother-daughter interactions. And I haven't seen a movie this year that's done that. And this movie felt like it was made in another time. I mean, obviously he started working on it like right after the first movie. So it's been around, but it felt like, I'm not comparing it to Top Gun Maverick, because different movie, but Top Gun Maverick is a popcorn blockbuster movie, and so is Avatar: The Way of Water. Mm-hmm. It is a popcorn blockbuster, the kind we used to all love to go to, and we all could see something of ourselves in those characters. They don't need to look like us, but I can relate to all the trials and tribulations that the characters are going through. You know, I was a kid who was also bullied and had to deal with that. And so seeing these kids kind of have to deal with it. And then even I've also been a parent of a child who's been bullied, and I've had to deal with that. Okay. So I can't wait to see this movie again. I really want to see it with a crowd. Oh, and the other thing I didn't bring up, the action in this film is spectacular.
Yeah.
The underworld of the reef people. Ryan Coogler should be embarrassed for what he did with the blue people.
I was just thinking the same thing. This should have been the Atlanteans.
It's so well done. Like it's like you're like sitting there. I'm like, okay, I'm just captivated by the imagery. I know it looks like, you ever see like those screensavers that are like being on vacation at the beach and you've got beautiful imagery. Mm-hmm. This whole movie was that.
Yeah.
The whole movie was that. So I hope this movie makes $3 billion, because this movie, it's not, movies have messages. Fine. The messages of this movie are things that all of us can relate to. Family. I will do anything to protect my family. Mm-hmm. You come after my family, I'm going full Liam Neeson. And that's what I loved about this film is Jake Sully's trying to protect his family. He's trying to do the right thing. Part of it, the beginning of the movie, we're not going to talk about any specific story stuff, but it almost felt like, oh, this is like an old Cowboys and Indians movie, mm-hmm. but we're on the Indians side this time. The Indians are the good guys.
Yeah. Not to spoil it, but there are two ways that he protects his family, and that evolves from one way to the other. And at the heart, that's kind of the message of the film, and it's also the lead into the third film.
Yeah, it directly, there are loose ends that are not tied up at the end of this movie. Now, having said that, there's even more things that bug me. I think there's one particular character that's sort of annoying.
It's not Spider, is it?
Oh my God. Yes, it is. There's a character named Spider that all I could think was Chaka from Land of the Lost. Am I wrong?
No, now that you mentioned it, yeah.
It's Chaka from Land of the Lost.
I just kept thinking Baby Tarzan. I mean, literally Baby Tarzan from the Disney movie Tarzan.
Yeah. It was just, there's some things in it that are dumb, right? And cringe. Having said that, put all that stuff aside, because these are almost like the things that James Cameron is bad at, but the other things are so good in comparison. Like the action sequences in this film are so big, like the new vehicles, the new tech, like what's happening on Earth. I think we may end up going to Earth at some point in this film series, but the ending directly sets up things that are going to happen in a third and or fourth film. I don't know.
Yeah, that was a decent cliffhanger. I will say that.
Well, I wouldn't describe it so much as a cliffhanger as not everything was 100% resolved.
But at least you know the direction of where the third movie is going to go, and excited enough about to wonder where Cameron's going to take it. The other thing is, I think this is, I may be wrong, but this may be the closest thing Cameron does in terms of making a preteen age movie. And I would I think I will try to convince my daughter to see this movie.
I think it is a family movie. It's a movie that, look, if you have young children, I would say probably,
it has James Cameron violence in it, but not to the degree of the first movie.
There's one really kind of horrific, violent thing that gets a laugh. Actually, it's a laugh that's pretty.
But
violent.
I mean, like the first movie was violent. It was devastatingly violent, especially what they do to the forest. This one tones it back, and I think hits it in that kids realm, or the older kids realm.
Yeah, well, they do dial it back somewhat compared to the first film, but it is violent. I will say this is a movie families will want to see together. The thing against it is 3 hour and 10-minute running time is a mistake. It's a mistake.
I don't think it's a spoiler, but that first hour is spent in the forest, and when the movie is called The Way of Water, you realize, wow, we still got a long way to go with this.
Well, look, I did look at my watch, but I was also trying to find out, like, when is the best time to go to the bathroom, because I did go to the bathroom twice. Some of you may know I have one kidney. I was born that way. It's rare, but my superpower, because I'm a mutant, is that I urinate 3 times more than the average person. So I don't know if I go to Professor X's school, my name would be the urinator. I think that would be my superhero name. In any case, I can't wait to see this movie with a crowd who paid to see it. The screening that I am going into is an IMAX 3D screening that is nearly completely full. And
did you see it in IMAX, or
I did not see it in IMAX. I saw it in Dolby Digital.
Okay, that's how I saw it. It was weird. I think the clarity quality was inconsistent. Like some scenes look super clear, while others felt a little film fuzzy. That's my nitpick of the movie.
And just before we go to comments, I just want to say one last thing on this, is that this is why I go to the movies. I want escapism. I want escapism from the real world. I don't want to think about real world concerns. I don't want to, be thinking about the politics or what's happening in the culture now. I just want to go to a movie and be taken away. That's all I want. And this movie does that. It does what a movie should be doing, which is taking you somewhere, making you feel something. Images and sounds on a screen, not to go all Nicole Kidman, AMC, but it's like the fact that can make you feel something and get a reaction that's why I go to the movies, is for that. And it did it so well.
Yeah.
I'm really curious. Like, look, I'm no, as Gary Beekler coined this term. It's Gary Beekler, Nerdstradamus. I'm no Nerdstradamus. Gary is Nerdstradamus. But I don't know how well this movie is going to do. It could in fact flop, but you know what? My gut tells me this will succeed for the same reasons that Top Gun Maverick is still in theaters, because it tells a story in a way that, like, we want to go have an and we haven't seen it in a long time. It's that popcorn movie. Take me away from my normal concerns and let's go with it.
I have to say it again. It's been a long time since we've seen a traditional family portrayed on screen in a positive, healthy way. And the other thing is, the politics is so not annoying that I was happy to have gone as little as I have. Yes, colonizers. Yeah, we're all colonizers, and whales. I love whales, and I don't want to see whales die. So
there are good humans among all the humans. Although notably, unless I missed something, all of the people from Earth are white, with the exception of one Asian woman.
Yeah, and I think the Asian woman dies again in
Alan, no spoilers.
Oh, I'm sorry, I just spoiled it.
No, she's going to be just fine. Get the action figure.
Yeah, she was the one with the parachute.
What my point is I didn't feel at any point while I'm watching the movie that there was a checklist.
Yeah.
I didn't feel there was any checklist with, like, well, we have to have a couple that's like this. We have to have this person here. There is the actress, the woman, name escapes me. She's the wife in The Sopranos, Tony Soprano's wife.
Yeah, Edie Falco.
Edie Falco is the general. She was just okay. She was fine.
she wasn't used well, but
Right.
she's bad. Yeah.
Yeah. But my understanding is that they did film Avatar 2 and 3 back to back.
Yeah, in fact, I believe 4 has already been. I think 4 has completed principal photography as well.
Right. It's but yeah, I can't talk enough about the action scenes. They're just epic and spectacular.
Yeah, it's a compacted James Cameron action film, I think.
Right. Well, let's go to your comments. I look.
And we have over 1,300 people in the chat.
Over 1,300 people watching live. Please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, and go to my Twitter at that Chris Gore and like the tweet about make Marvel male again, just because I want a better ratio on that.
Well, speaking of a male movie,
what
we have it right here.
What is it?
Avatar, The Way of Water.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get to the chat.
Finish him.
Oh, my jeans. Here we go with comments about our early reaction. How's your father? Says initial reviews say the movie is very blue.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Well, it is very blue. Ding Fuking Dog. First Avatar movie was enjoyable enough, cool to watch when going to sleep or in the background. Expect this to be the same. Yeah. I mean, if you like the first one, I believe you will like this one the same or even more. Alan Horkin.
Your theater has a recliner.
Oh my God, that recliner saved me. That recliner saved me. Caught a bit of Gore on Nerdrotic. He seems to like at least parts of Avatar 2. Well, now you've heard me. Bear Down Adam says, so excited, Return to Pandora in glorious 3D. James Cameron never disappoints. Well, I will say this. Never bet against James Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
I think this movie is going to surprise people. For one, that it's just a straight up popcorn blockbuster with family values. What's so weird is like, wow, I haven't seen a father in a movie who was a good father in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did that strike you as being weird, Alan?
Yeah, I did. And part of me wonders, what is there going to be backlash? Because the idea of traditional family is very verboten, especially on social media.
Well,
and I wonder taking this traditional route, if James Cameron and this movie is going to suffer for it.
Yeah, I just think never bet against James Cameron, and the fact that it was so weird. I'm like, I feel like there is a severe lack of values in movies today, in the modernity, as they say, or modern movies have no values, where you're like, the heroes and the villains are just different sides of being an asshole, right? I mean, just like, especially when you look at like Wakanda Forever and the Marvel stuff, and just like it's like there's just like shades of gray, and then you look at this and it's like I would do anything to protect my family or my children, and so a lot of people can relate to that. And I also think that sort of negativity towards the traditional nuclear family is way overemphasized on Twitter, and in real life, nobody cares.
Yeah. Well, I am surprised that James Cameron is going after that traditional family audience, and it would be amazing to see it succeed. I mean, family friendly films have always done well. It's just they're always swept under the rug.
Right.
We'll see if one that's blatantly out there does well.
Deadline 247 says, did anyone actually love Avatar? I mean, everyone saw it because it was beautiful, but how many people say this is one of their favorite movies of all time?
Yeah.
It's not that. It's that this is a family movie. I cannot say that Strange World is a family movie.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot say that with any confidence. And I saw it on Thanksgiving night. There was a family off to the side. Their children were too young to see this movie, and not once did they laugh or clap. People are going to laugh when they see this movie. They are going to applaud. There are certain applause breaks that you're going to see. He goes on to say, I'm not sure this movie needs to make more than $2 billion just to break even is the best business strategy. Yeah. Well, I don't know how true that is. Yeah.
I mean, is that amortized over 4 films, or
who knows?
Yeah. And the other thing is, yeah, I mean, I get the sentiment. I'm not sure why the first Avatar was as spectacular and popular as it was, especially years later when people just stopped talking about it.
Right. Let's see. Continuing with the comments, Solomon Thornton says, "Now listen up. Here's a story about a little guy that lives in Pandora. I have no singing talent. Alan Ing is pissed. Hey, Disney shill is my job."
Yeah, Chris.
Patrick Lemire, who goes on to say, "So you mean the people who hate movies made for modern audiences are not just angry white incels? Who knew?" Yeah, well, that's true. I think you're referencing the panel that we did at LA Comic-Con. Please check out that panel on our channel. It's why 99% of movies today are garbage. Yeah, after I canceled my Disney Plus subscription, I thought, what the hell? Might just spend some money of it on Film Threat, says Ding Freaking Dong. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate the support. And Film Threat privilege is the best kind of privilege. It's real and not made up, says Amanda Nowicki. That's right. We're giving away 5 Alienoid Blu-rays for members only. Just become a member of the channel. I think right after the stream, there'll be how you win it. So there you go.
Yeah, so wait till the instructions come before.
Yeah. Just Nova 1138. I know what that reference is, for $4.99. If stories were being told before technology, we would be asked our opinion before sitting at the campfire while the speaker would be watched. Loving these comments today. I really any woke messaging in it, parents for healthcare rights. No, it doesn't feel like it at all. Like, I mean, but James Cameron's movies have always had strong women, but here's the difference. They are strong women. They're not male characters on the page where they just swap out the gender. But yeah, in fact, I'm shocked at how good of a movie this is. I think your daughter, actually, Alan, is exactly the right age.
Yeah, I think I'll drag her to the movie. It's the 3 hours that's going to kill her.
Tell her she has to do it because you're her dad.
I know.
And she has to do what you say. And she has to.
Yeah, that's right. I'm the leader of my family.
You are. I've seen your lovely family before. It's you have a beautiful family. And
yeah, they listen to me.
Yeah. Well, it's just she is exactly the right age, because once you meet the kids, it's like these teenage young kids and kind of them relating to each other, little coming of age stuff going on, little like we're doing things we shouldn't do. I mean, it definitely felt like this is really for kids, and families are going to go nuts for this movie. And I think what it's gonna sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
I will say she's not been impressed by the marketing for this movie.
I don't think the marketing is very good, and for a very specific reason. It's Michael Seagrave says, "Family, what is this? Fast and the Furious?" Yeah, but it's not. It's
a real family.
It's a real family. It's a nuclear family.
Biological genetic family.
2 girls, boys, like mom and a dad. When do you ever see that in a movie? And that's what kind of struck me. Like, wait a sec, this is in this movie? Like, ooh, this is why I can't wait for Twitter to see it, because they're going to hate it.
Yeah.
So thank you for your comment, Michael Seagrave. And then Zavin says, "A starving man thinks crackers are a feast. Is it good on its own merits, or good just because everything else is so bad at the theater?" Alan, what do you think?
I think it's good. I think the risk will be to overstate how good it is. But I think fundamentally it's a good movie.
Well, I do think so too. But having said that, Zavin, and thank you for your comment. You've commented before. Glad to have you back. It is sort of a drought. It's a drought of popcorn movies. There are 2 popcorn movies that have come out this year. That's it. It's Top Gun Maverick and Avatar: The Way of Water. That's all we got. And the rest of the movies are like, you kind of have to groan, or this, or like it's just stupid or insults your intelligence. And then you've got all the awards movies, which Alan and I have been getting through.
Yeah, getting through.
It's depressing. All those Oscar movies, first of all, they're all very important movies. They're all very important movies that have very important things to say.
And they're all over 2 hours long.
And they're all all depressing as hell.
Yeah.
So
I just saw Empire of Light.
Here's what I want to do. This is, and I'm not telling you should go see the movie. Hey, Drunk 3PO is here. Drunk 3PO showing support, $4.99. Drunk, I cannot wait. You please do a live stream or at least a react on Thursday or Friday. Do something. Jay Drunk 3PO, subscribe to his channel. Thank you for that, Jay. You didn't have to do that. I appreciate it. He has his own Pandora channel, and I think it's Drunk at Pandora. I just subscribed to it. Drunk at Pandora, but go to subscribe to Drunk 3PO, check out his Pandora channel. More than any other person, I want to know what Jay thinks of the movie. And also, next week when we do our live stream on Friday, a week from this Friday, I really want to hear what you have to say, having seen it. And everyone that doesn't like it, there's so many reasons not to like it. There's so many dumb things. And there's a huge logic issue at the very end of the movie that I can't talk about because it's a spoiler. Yeah. And that's like, oh, that makes no sense. This doesn't make sense to me. I'll talk. You know what? I want to ask you actually after the stream, Alan, because I'm so pissed off about it. Thanks, Jay. Love talking to you yesterday on Tuesday night's main event. Sean Z, Comic Construct for $1.99 says, was Avatar 2 worth every billion? I don't know. Did it cost? It didn't cost $1 billion to make this. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, again, they're making 3 more movies. No, 3 movies total.
Yeah.
So I have to believe it's kind of spread out over that the startup costs were enormous. Although I don't know how that happens in a movie like this.
Right.
But the water effects, oh my gosh. I
can't say
enough about it.
Well, here we go. So Greasy Guido for $5.55, interesting amount, and is also a member. Greasy Guido, thank you for that. Chat wants to know: 1, any gay Na'vi? 0, no discussion of sexuality. There is a very innocent, like, the teens. There's like, I have a crush on her. Mm-hmm. I kind of like that boy. That's as far as it goes. So there's nothing like that. Any weird lovemaking scenes this time around? Not sure if that'd be a spoiler. Also 0.
Yeah, 0.
So there's your answer to that.
People are pregnant in the movie. Is that
people are pregnant in the movie? That's true. All twisted up. So great chatting with Gore, Ing. I think maybe you mean Ing, Gary, that Star Wars girl, Dante, and Latino Slant at LA Comic Con. It's all good. Attack of the Doc was great. The garbage panel was great. And my red DVD is now signed. Cheers. Thank you all, Twisted Up. It was so great to see you there. I'm glad you finally got your signed red DVD. Yeah. And I'm so glad you stuck around. We might have had a secret screening of Attack of the Doc. Just might have had. But I owed it to LA Comic Con because LA Comic Con is where we launched our Kickstarter. We did it there. And I appreciate how supportive LA Comic Con has been. Thank you all, Twisted Up. I'm going to see you. I'll probably see you at WonderCon for sure. Let's get to 200 Watt Studio for 2. How can an avatar have a biological family?
Yeah, we can't spoil that.
Yeah.
Because like Kitty. That's a discussion we'll have on Friday.
We'll have on next Friday. Next Friday, we will have the review embargo lifts next Wednesday. We may do another like proper review, and then we'll do a non-spoiler, and then a spoiler review. So there you go. Michael Tynan for 5 says, wait, a movie made for everybody? What?
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like the guy has to make the 4th highest grossing film ever. And so maybe he needs to have a broad audience to give him money.
And that's why James Cameron is smart. And thank you, Daniel Parker, for becoming a member. We appreciate that. Call sign Alucard for $4.99. So what you're saying is it's not anti-testosterone like some news media is saying. Let me just say this. No, I don't think it's anti. There's tons of testosterone.
No.
There's tons of testosterone on both sides. Yep. Meaning with the military from Earth and the Pandora natives, there's a lot of testosterone. And so, no, that is a mischaracterization by media who are baiting people that have no credibility, just like the Mary Sue that wrote a stupid story about 4 words I wrote on Twitter. That is how pathetic journalism is today. When the news is a tweet, that's pathetic. So I don't believe any of that. I don't even believe James Cameron believes that. And I will say that most of the media tends to bait people into making comments like this. So when I see a comment like that, what was the context? What was the actual question asked? What's the full interview? And also I think that James Cameron may not be so up on the lingo. I will say, like, I didn't even know what TBH meant 6 months ago, and now I know. It's to be hairy. So there you are. J. Allen Photo Art for 10 says, excited to see Cameron follow this up with Titanic 2 starring the Walt Disney Corporation. Guys, that can be true too. Wait, 200 Watt Studio for 2 says, Chris, you going to Gallifrey in February? If I can get tickets, and if Gary Beekler goes, I will go there. You know what? Even better. You know what I'll do? I won't get a ticket. Here was my move with Gallifrey 1. It's at the Los Angeles Airport Marriott.
Yeah.
I would just go in the lobby and I would do what we call LobbyCon. And I would literally make out of a napkin a badge that said LobbyCon. And I would just hang out in the lobby and drink and talk to people. Because that's where all the cosplay is. That's where everybody hangs out. And it's super fun. Hit me up, 200 Watt Studio. If Gary goes, I'll go. The VacTube just became a member. Well, thank you for that. We appreciate it. Over here to Key Lime Keela for $9.99. Just got my ticket, a bit reluctant, but you sorta convinced me. So since you mentioned it, when's a good time for break to bathroom in the film? There is an app that I have. This is real. It's called something P. What's the name? It's like, it's not Just Watch. It's something P. But there's an app that basically tells you when to go. There are opportunities to go. It's like whenever the action is not on the screen and you see like there's some sort of like, you can tell he's kind of waiting for the beautiful imagery. Bolt, come right back. I went twice. I don't think I missed much.
Yeah.
You kind of feel when the movie.
Oh, Run P? Is that the name of the app?
The app is Run P.
Okay.
Yes, I have the app on my phone.
But I would say there's a moment where the teens are teaching each other how to ride the water animals. That's probably a good time to go.
But it's quick because you'll come back and they'll still be doing it. Yeah. Thank you, Key Lime Keela, and thank you for your support of the channel. We're going to try to get through all the comments here. Flaccid Phoenix, Chris, you'll be doing a campaign to get kids to watch this like you did Avatar 1. Did I do that? I don't think I did that. Flaccid Phoenix, how dare you? Amanda the Wiki.
One comment, I don't know if we got to it, but wondering if you're going to pull a Thor Love and Thunder on us.
I don't know. Maybe I will.
Yeah, maybe you'll hate it next week.
Amanda Nowicki, Avatar Way of Water will definitely appeal to the younger generation if they can stay awake long enough. That's why I say probably younger-ish kids, maybe under 8, not maybe 9 and up, maybe 9 and up. I would say teenagers for sure.
I would say the length is what's going to kill kids.
Yeah. This won't go viral says, my question would be, were there any dumb dialogue in the first Avatar in your opinion? Yeah, there's just a lot of things. There's just some things that like out loud. I actually thought the script for the first Avatar might be better. What are your thoughts, Alan?
I'm trying to remember. I mean, it's not like you go to these movies thinking you're going to get great dialogue. This is not Lord of the Rings. So, it is what it is.
Hang on. Fur to the future. Would you say it's fine to see it without 3D or definitely see the 3D? Over 3 hours with those glasses sounds like a headache. Your choice. I watched it in 3D. It didn't bother me, but I have worn glasses. I don't currently wear glasses, but I'll sometimes wear glasses to see things that are very tiny. But yeah, no, I really
think the ones were fine. I thought
3D for this movie worked for me. Mm-hmm. I don't think I've seen another movie in 3D. God, I think I saw Thor in 3D. I got but yeah.
Yeah, and it does play up to the 3D. There are reasons, it takes advantage of 3D very well.
Amanda Wiki, how did the main character from the first Avatar have kids? Wasn't his body a clone?
Yep. Spoiler.
Toxic Waltz N8 goes on. Stop wanking about original storyline. There's only like 7 stories when you get to the skeleton of storytelling. I want to be entertained. I don't want an award-winning storyline. Yeah, the story here is very simple. It's very simple. It's cowboys and Indians and coming of age. There you go. Story's been told. This is an original way to tell the story, but that's it. But I would say, what would you say on story, Alan?
Yeah, no, I mean, very cowboys and Indians from the Indian standpoint. And, yeah. I don't disagree with this statement. I think there are 7 basic storylines.
Yeah, it's not an award-winning storyline. Yeah. The story is sort of the framework for you to get invested in the characters. So, War Monkey, who's a member, thank you for that. I'll probably like this. I enjoyed the newest Jurassic World movie, even though I hated it. Well, don't you like you can be? This is where it's nuanced.
Yeah,
you can be in 2 minds about a movie. I can sit there and acknowledge that there are things in Thor that I was entertained by. Love the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff in the beginning. I thought some of the stupid humor worked. The dumb shit with the children at the end was god awful. And Gore also worked. I really loved Gore in Thor.
Of course you did.
And then it just completely falls apart.
Yeah, I mean, there is, every movie suffers from that tipping point.
Right.
How far is the BS? Are you going to tolerate the BS before you completely fall over and just wreck the movie from there on? And I think this one keeps you going on throughout the entire film.
Greasy Guido, I can't even sit in a strip club for over 3 hours. Well, you have not been to Jumbo's Clown Room on Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood. And if you ever come to Los Angeles, that's a place you might want to go. Colin Stevens, R. Kelly already has that superhero name. What superhero name? I don't know what that's a reference to.
Maybe a previous tweet.
Maybe a previous
chat, I should say.
Oh, the urinator? Yeah. Oh
okay.
I forgot. We talked about that earlier. It was the urinator. Oh my God. I'm sorry, man. I move on and I'm just like, I'm always looking forward, not thinking backwards. War Monkey, I wonder why they didn't just make this 2 movies. Agree. I will say this. Here's what I heard before I finish your comment. The studio begged James Cameron to make this movie 2 hours or just over 2 hours.
Mean early on or recently?
Yes. No, not recently. Just like as they're getting, like he told them to F off. He told them to F off. I will say this. Here's what's weird about it. I knew the running time before I went in. I never felt bored. Did you feel bored, Alan, at any point?
It felt long. I mean, like I told you, that first hour spent in the forest, and then you realize this is the way of water, and you realize that there's a lot more movie coming up. That's when it feels long. But in terms of me wanting the movie to be over at some point, I don't think I ever got there.
And War Monkey goes on to say, I wonder why they didn't just make this 2 movie. That 3-hour running time makes me not want to go, even though I want to see it. I waited like 12 years, so can wait longer for streaming. It's a different experience. In a theater, it's a different experience. You're not looking at your phone. You're forced to pay attention to the movie. Dude, I'm going to AMC Burbank 16 tonight at 7:00 to see The Dark Crystal. I have not seen that on the big screen since I was a kid, since I was a teenager in the 80s. So seeing a movie in a theater is different. War Monkey, I would recommend seeing it in a theater. I mean, maybe you don't have to see it first weekend, but yeah.
I will say I'm not looking forward to the 3-hour runtime.
Well, there you go. Buford T. Justice for $19.99. Always good to see you here. Always good to see you in the chat on Ryan Cannell's channel. Buford goes on, says, I'm sorry, Chris. I just can't see another movie that is anti-white and promotes this idea that natives were peaceful and noble when a basic history lesson proves otherwise. I appreciate your view. Disney isn't getting my money. Well, first of all, appreciate your comment. Secondly, that's just kind of the backdrop to it. I mean, you could look at a movie like Dances with Wolves, and also all the people, Earthlings, are not bad. They're not bad. The soldiers and their mission, they do have evil intention. But it's not, would you say this movie's anti-white? I don't think so.
I don't know. It's anti-colonizer, which could be anything. I don't think it's specific to white people. I think it's specific to people from Earth. The other thing is a lot of that sentiment was played out huge in the first movie, and not so much in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everything you hate about the sky people, it all earned it in the first movie, and you're not seeing a rehash of that.
Right. John Orchard for 5 says, I was going to write something and just decided to give you guys money.
Oh,
thank you for that. Ginger, thank you, John. I appreciate it. Ginger Adventure for 5 says, who played Major Fambro dances in this sci-fi sequel of the original? Kevin Costner is my favorite blue person. Well, there you go. I like Dances with Wolves. Great score. If I recall correctly, was it John Barry? Who did the score?
yeah.
Why am I spacing on it? I should know that. Oh no, 200 West Studios says for 2 says R. Kelly was all about The Way of Water. We are getting we are getting roasted here by some people. You commenters, I love it. Patrick Lemire goes on to say, but bad dialogue should not be a thing given the resources. Yeah, there were like 4 writers on this movie. So I really yeah. Oh, so
let's just say George Lucas wasn't exactly the greatest.
George Lucas, look, it's prequel style writing here, okay? It's not, but also like I kind of feel like James Cameron, like, well, this needs to happen, this needs to happen. The dialogue is almost secondary to like what needs to happen.
Yeah, but it at least got the family stuff right. Unlike George, who couldn't get romance down.
Yeah,
it was John Barry, by the way.
Yeah, it was John Barry. I was correct with my composers. The sound of one man laughing. Chris, you just called the Mary Sue journalism. Also, hi, Alan. Well, thank you for that. You know what it is? It's like people that don't have a sense of humor, and I'm happy to mock them. I'm sure the 4 words I posted on Twitter make you think I am pure evil. But Gary had a good suggestion. He said I should quote tweet it and add a poll. And the poll is, should I turn the words in this tweet into a t-shirt, hat, or both? And then say that only men can vote. I think I'd just be poking the bear a bit too much at that point. Yeah. I think the
poll is fine. I think the other part isn't.
Yeah. All right.
You're really sticking the bear at that one.
I just like what is going to happen? They don't watch me on YouTube. The people that are mad at me don't read Film Threat. The people they have no idea who the fuck I am or what I'm about, or understand that humor requires intelligence because you have to connect the dots. But people you ever meet people that are like so smart they're idiots? Just having hired people, I've hired people for a lot of different companies, where I've been in positions where I've hired people, and some of the dumbest people I've met have tons of degrees. And then I've met people who are college dropouts who I think are brilliant. So there you go. R. Kelly's Way of Water is always down. My God, 200 watt studio, please.
I just find it funny that someone would spend that amount of time and energy to write an entire article, research it, all for a 4-word tweet. I mean,
well, Patrick Lemire says the Mary Sue don't get a joke. They make so many people laugh. Well, that's true. And then Michael Tynan says, poke that bear. Chris, I'm not going to.
I'm just afraid if you go too far, you're going to get that bear pregnant.
Exactly. Alan, don't follow Alan at MyPalL on Twitter. Don't follow him. Gunho Max says, I'll take bad dialogue over the identity politics mallet. Oh, Gunho Mac, you are absolutely right. Thank you for being a member. It's like, yeah, the dialogue is like cheesy. Some of the lines are like, laugh. Like, that's why we were laughing, because it's so bad. But when you're watching a movie and you can feel the checklist, like the first 5 minutes of Strange World where the 3-legged dog comes out, and it's dumb. And just tell a story where, just tell a story that a lot of people can relate to, right? And thank you, Gunho Mac, looking buff in that pic. Patrick Lemire, if you want to see a good recent family values superhero movie, 2019 Shazam was great. I agree. I thought it was great.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was great. The father figure is strong, kind, and not some bumbling idiot. Yes. True. That is partially what prompted that tweet from me. It was just like, we're just getting inundated with the female, this, the female. Like, I just put out one tweet about men, and I should just put out a tweet that says men are awesome. What's wrong with that? Thank you. Ginger Adventure for 5 says, get Ryan Cannell to post on the thread. It'll blow their little brains. I hope so. They all know about it. Those guys are hilarious. Do I agree with everything they say? Hell no. I don't care. I don't agree with people in my own family. I don't agree with people that I'm blood related to. God, we have just lost the ability to just communicate simple things. The Hookman 777 says James Cameron is no Kirk Cameron. Avatar 2 okay, but anyone see Left Behind 1 through 8 with Kirk? Nice try, James, but you got to go a long way to go to meet the Left Behind series, my man. I have not seen that. Alan, have you seen it? Are you aware of it?
I think I'm pretty sure I saw the first one, and
right.
Yeah, I remember when the books came out and how those things blew up.
Right.
But I'm interested in seeing the Nick Cage Left Behind movie.
Right. Cool. We're going to continue. Oh God, I can't keep up. 200 watt stereo for 2. Was the 3-legged dog potty trained? You are something. I love that.
Fortunately, it was the perfect leg to have been missing. I don't know if that made any sense.
Lord of the Film says, so the verdict on Avatar is, we're not really giving our verdict. We'll do that next week, but these are just our impressions. I think you can tell that I am surprised that I am positive. I'm telling you why I like the movie. If the reasons that I like the movie align with reasons you also like movies, do you like movies that are about families? Do you like movies that have strong father figure? You like movies you can take your kids to see? By kids, I would say probably north of 9. Say under 9 years old are not going to be able to hang with the 3-hour running time. But north of 9 years old, I actually think your daughter, Alan, will you?
Yeah, I'm gonna strongly suggest we see it.
Well,
I'll try to do it on Thursday night.
Can you do it next? That way you can tell us what your daughter thought.
Yeah.
I would love to hear it.
I think that might be the convincer. Hey, the live stream wants to know what you think. And
so there you go. Yeah, I think you can tell like we're pointing out the good and the bad, and not just the good, the reasons why that Alan and I seem to be positive on that. Pilgrim Media for 2 says, what's the over under for it clearing 2 billion? I don't know anything. I hope it makes 2 billion. Here's why I think it's possible. Here's why I think it's possible to make a lot of money. Because one, it stands out amongst all the agenda-driven franchise garbage. It stands out. The second thing is, it is a movie that is relatable no matter where you're from. Are you living in South America? Are you in Europe? Are you in wherever? Are you in China?
Mm-hmm. It's playing in China.
So. It is playing in China. This is a movie that will play to international audiences. Mm-hmm. You can't say that about Strange World. Okay. You can't say that about Strange World.
Yeah. So I think, go ahead. I think the movie has legs. I think it will clearly dominate the box office opening weekend. And I don't think the drop off is going to be alarmingly low, like Wakanda Forever. So I think it has a good shot at 2 billion.
Yeah.
And weirdly, it's going to happen over the Christmas break. So, it's got that weird dynamic where it's split by 2 years, by 2 revenue years, financial years.
Yeah. Patrick Lemire, thanks for being for 5. Thanks for being honest. Too many people hold on to preconception despite new evidence. Yeah. I just look, I think there's the way like trailers, you see a trailer and like, oh, that looks fun, but you never know. I always hold judgment. I don't like to hate something. The only thing that I kind of felt that way on was Rings of Power. I thought the marketing was so bad. It just looked terrible. So Rings of Power, I feel like my thoughts about what it was going to be turned out to be accurate. It just a god awful film. But yeah, Alan and I can only be honest. And by the time we talk about it more, we'll have seen it a second time, both of us, and you will have seen it. Some of you, not all of you, some of you will have seen it, and you can form your own opinion and you can debate, and your opposing opinion, you're welcome to have it right here. We're not going to like, I don't want Film Thread to be an echo chamber. I like different people to speak their minds, which is why I think that panel turned out so well. It's because it was a lot of people who just had a lot of different things to say. And Latino Slant, Paulie, thank you so much. 1100 in the chat. Thank you, Paulie.
Speaking of Paulie, yeah, that I was surprised by the numbers, just the live stream numbers of the panel.
Well, no, that's right. I kind of ran it as a video, but on a live stream, so I could live put stuff on the bottom.
Live chat as well.
I was doing that. I was the one doing that. So I just want to like show the video, but believe I couldn't even talk on Monday. I was dead after LA Comic-Con. But Paulie, thank you so much. Paulie, not only great opinions on the panel, great opinions, and really had so much to contribute. And see, what I always love about what Paulie does is, and I try to do this too, is like most of the stuff now kind of sucks. But what I'll say is, watch this instead. Watch this movie instead. Paulie always does that. Also, Paulie had the best mustache on the entire panel. The mustache needs its own. Your mustache, Paulie, needs its own Instagram.
Needs its own panel at LA Comic-Con.
Yeah, exactly. Paulie, always good to hang out with you, sir. What a great person, and with great opinions. And just subscribe to his channel. And 200 Watt Studio again. If this was TV Tuesday, how would you rate it for 200 Watt Studio? I would recommend seeing it. I would recommend seeing it. I'll get in more detail.
This is a buy.
Yeah, I would recommend seeing it, but I'm not going to go further than that. Douglas A. Burton for $1.99. How lively was the audience? Alan, you had an audience. I saw it with an audience of 25 people that were laughing because some of the dialogue was just so bad. But Alan, you saw it.
Yeah, I was in a full room full of critics.
Yeah.
And we had a false start at the beginning, so people are a little ticked off. But it was pretty quiet. But I kind of expect that from critics.
Yeah.
There was slight applause at the end, but I would say I may have been on the younger side of my crowd, and I'm old.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, I will say, I also, like you, Alan, I don't like to go to critic screenings. I don't think that the reaction is authentic.
Yeah.
And I think that critics, almost like a traditional critic, is sort of like sitting, arms clasped like this, like just sort of, hope it's good. But I love seeing movies with a paying audience, and I'm seeing the movie again next Thursday. And, so my audience was laughing. So thanks, Douglas. Murdoch 86 for 10. Love you guys. Any chance of you two appearing at Motor City Comic-Con one of these days? Murdoch 86, thank you for your contribution and for being a member. I would love to go to Motor City Comic-Con. I am from the Detroit area. I have family back there. If there's a way to arrange it, I don't know anything about it, but if Motor City Comic-Con approaches me, I would love to go to that convention and bring Alan to my home city.
Yeah, I'd love to go to Detroit.
Yeah, well, not a lot of people have said those words out loud. I'd love to go to Detroit.
I'd love to visit America. That's all I'm saying.
Paulie had the best porn stash. Hell yeah, he does.
Oh yeah,
amazing. And then David Glenn says, "I didn't know Chris did impressions. How's it, Jack Nicholson?" Well, I don't know if I could do a Jack Nicholson, but maybe I could do Watto from Star Wars, the Star Wars prequels. Republic credits are no good around here. Need something more real. There, that's my impression. David Glenn. I think we already talked about that one.
Yeah,
we already got that in there. Sorry, I'm catching up. Connor B says, some of the moments in the trailer looked like questionable CGI character work. Are the effects good? Some, not all. I would say there were a couple shots where I was like, it doesn't look like that one was finished 100%. But I thought overall it worked. Alan?
Yeah, I think so. You know, it was weird because I saw it at D23. I saw clips of this at D23 in high frame rate, and also I think they ramped up the 3D effects. So they were really going at D23. They were really going for the fish swimming out into the audience. And in this one, I think they pulled it back. That they didn't do that as much. But it's a beautiful film. You know, just like the first Avatar, it's gorgeous. Again, I think there's inconsistencies regarding clarity, but overall, you know, it's a James Cameron movie, and it's full of effects. You're gonna expect that, and you know, nothing really clunky stood out to me.
It's weird because like genre movies are always the biggest at the box office. They're when you look at genres, you look at the top movies by genre, and sci-fi, fantasy, all that. They are all the top box office for films is for the most part genre films is the category that dominates. This movie, and why I believe it will succeed, is because it appeals to normies. This isn't just for nerds, it's for normies. And James Ricciuti became a YouTube member, and I thank you for that. And Latino Slant confirmed.
Join the Discord, by the way. I believe the link is
if you become a member, one of the first things you get is access to the Discord, access to exclusive content, and then when we give away free stuff, we always give it to our members first.
Yeah. And the conversation there is respectful and diverse. I will say that. We're very fortunate to have the quality of dialogue going on in there that we have.
I love that. And Latino Slant confirmation, the stash is getting a gram. Tell us what it is, Paulie, so we can just photos of your mustache, and when you change it and it changes up and whatever, it'll be funny.
And when it goes out on the town, when it does goes on adventures, we want to see that.
You can
and during dinner.
You can do it like that guy Dylan Mulvaney. You can make it like day one of Stashhood. No one is going to get that joke. All right. Chris needs a Lester Bangs Detroit Sucks t-shirt, says Patrick Lemire. I know who Lester Bangs is, so thank you for that reference. That was awesome. Oh my God. 200-watt studio for two. Alan lives at the Villages. How he the young one? Yeah, well, there you go. We appreciate that 200-watt studio.
I think I'm old enough to live at the Villages.
Yeah. TPPT says Alan loves everything. Lol.
Yeah.
That's actually not true. It's actually not true.
Rings of Power. I hate it.
There's a lot of things Alan has not liked, but sometimes there'll be a divide where Alan likes something a lot more than I did. And then, or we do disagree on things, which I love. Why would I not remain friends with Alan if we didn't just it's an opinion about a movie? Who cares? Patrick Lemire, Avatar 2 is also good for the industry. I hate the term. A movie that demands to be seen in the theater. Top Gun Maverick was the same thing. You want to see it. You need to see it on the largest screen possible. Agreed.
Again, that movie had legs. It definitely had legs moving.
And they re-released it. And it's I don't know, what is it? 1.3 billion now? It just keeps, and it's on, it's on digital. I mean, you can see it on Paramount Plus. Deadline 247. Okay, I wasn't excited about this movie at all, but all this talk about being a traditional family popcorn movie has sold me. Taking the wife and kids ASAP. Okay, Deadline 247. Please come back next week, a week from this Friday. I want to know what you thought. And in particular, I want to know what your kids thought. Because these kinds of experiences, this is why I really am distraught over how the film industry right now. Where are the movies that will have those kinds of impressions that you can see as a family? Where your children, Deadline 247, I assume that's not your given name. It's what you named yourself here. But what I'm saying is those experiences where I've seen movies with my kids where we're both emotional about the movie. I'm not talking about crying, just involved in it, emotional, want to talk about it after. You each have different parts that were your favorites. Your kids are going to see themselves as kids, and the kids range in ages. I really think this has the potential to be the biggest of the year. It won't make it. It won't count for 2022. It won't count for 2022, but it has the potential on that. And then look, wait, there was a comment here. There was another comment I saw, but yeah, thank you, Deadline 247. I want to know what you think. I want to know what you think. The Cameron, a couple people are saying, Killick69 says his testosterone comment was taken out of context. Of course it was. Of course it was. I've actually interviewed James Cameron, believe it or not. I interviewed James Cameron when the first Avatar came out. I should find that video and repost it just for members.
See, now you wish Attack of the Show was still on the air. Because at least you'd have James Cameron back on the show.
But if the show was still in the air, it wouldn't have finished the documentary. Solomon Thornton says, my mom took me to see Avatar in 2009, and I was 10 years old. I'm 23 years old, and I will take my mom to see Way of Water.
Aww.
Solomon, that warms my heart. I want to hear what you thought. I really think that our live stream next Friday is going to be more about what you guys think.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, absolutely. And then just so you know, next Thursday it comes out, a week from Thursday, and it's playing all day. So you'll have at least 2 or 3 screenings available to go to. The movie's damn long.
Chasing Bama says, I'll watch it 100 times if it puts traditional families in the spotlight. It does, without any preachiness. It's just a traditional family having an adventure. It's the kind of thing, Alan, I don't know if you ever if you got this feeling where you were watching the movie. It felt like a family adventure in the sense that, like, Swiss Family Robinson is a family adventure. Everyone has a role to play in the family. People taking risks they shouldn't take. You know, you've got, you're trying to like survive, but also you've got the family to deal with. And I got like those vibes of like, this is a family adventure, the kind that Disney used to make. Any thoughts on that, Alan?
No, I mean, I would agree with you. I don't know that I can add much to it, but yeah, you know, the youngest daughter is probably around 9 or 10, and then the oldest is an older teen, you know, and so, and it hits the spectrum. And so I think there's a lot to relate to, especially for the kids.
Yeah. And Patrick Lemire says the studio must have facepalmed when Cameron went on his toxic testosterone tangent. Again, people are saying it was out of context, and I'm going to believe that. X douchey McDouche X, thank you for being here. F it, I'm going to watch this, damn it. And you also are going to tell me what you think next week. And again, that's why I qualify it like, these are the things I liked about it. If you also like those same things, then this is something that will appeal to you, that will move you. If the idea of a story that is a family story, a family adventure, doesn't appeal to you, then it's not for you. Yeah. Dreamer, thank you for the comment. Dreamer84 says, but it's Disney. No,
well, Disney of a year ago. Yeah, it was Fox.
It's they only bought Fox a couple years ago. This was already well on the way to being done. Seriously, like they were done shooting. Like there's nothing really that they could have changed. And James Cameron is James Cameron. James Cameron is going to do what James Cameron wants. Matthew Cooper says, good father equals toxic masculinity. Well, to people who are idiots.
Yeah. No, but I think it would be amazing for a movie like this to succeed and succeed well, to kind of make that statement and say, yeah, maybe there still is economic value to holding traditional values.
Precisely. And you know what? This movie is going to play to different audiences all over the world, and they're all going to be able to relate because having a family is something that people can relate to. Mm-hmm. You know, elders, mother, father, children, that is relatable. Please make a movie for this audience. Justin Simone, Star Wars Marvel purist, the Kingsman equals good father. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing that surprised me about that movie. When the father story more or less unveiled itself, it was like, okay, now I'm into this movie.
Yeah. John
halfway through, but
still gives Disney money. No thanks. John, if you've got a list with AMC, I'm not saying you should do this, but you could buy a ticket to a different movie and then go see that movie. Although I got to be honest, I don't know what movie that's playing currently you would give your money to. I hear you, John, long last name. I hear you. But here's my argument for why I think it is worth it is you vote with your pocketbook. If you go see this movie and it's a success, it sends a message. And if you don't see a movie like Strange New World, it sends a message. And if you don't see the Buzz Lightyear movie, it sends a message. And if you do, so if you see certain movies, sends a message. You don't see certain movies, sends a message. So make of that what you will. Anima Chains Videos has just become a member. Thank you for that. And Patrick Lemire goes on to say, I wonder if the 2 billion break-even number is overstated. If you do 4 movies, the average drops. Yes, it's amortized over the 4 films. So I don't know. I think that also maybe, is that accurate?
Yeah. I mean, how do you sell that? I'm making another Avatar movie. It's got to make $2 billion. Will you fund it?
Yeah, I don't know how accurate that is, but we'll see. I think that Hollywood is clever accounting, and I think that like James Cameron is just sort of throwing that out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's wow, we've gone for 2 hours here. We're close. We're going to be wrapping it up soon, even though we have 1,100 people. 11, a very lucky number. Actually, if you watch the movie Joker, Todd Phillips' movie Joker, all of the clocks are set to 11:11. Did you know that?
Did not know that.
Go watch the movie. Every time you see a clock in Joker, it says 11:11. It's something of like, it's like a good luck mantra. You can look on Instagram. There are all these things dedicated to 11:11. Just look it up. I'm not gonna explain it here. And let's end on this comment here as we wrap up the stream. And although I really don't want to wrap it up, we've got over 1,100 people watching, but and the Hookman 777 became a new member. Thank you for that, Hookman. Jason Webster says, the reviewers I trust have all said Avatar Way of Water is a genuine old school blockbuster that is all about entertaining audiences and not preaching a message or looking down on its audience. Mm-hmm. That is 100% accurate. That's 100% accurate. And if that appeals to you, you can choose to see it or you can not choose to see it. You can also wait. One of the things you can do is when I was like kind of not sure about a movie, I would wait and hear what friends think. I would read a bunch of different critics. Critics are only giving their reactions. Full reviews come out, I believe, next Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, definitely next week.
Yeah, and everyone is going to have criticisms of it, and they're all accurate, and they're all warranted. But the things that I enjoyed about the film outweigh the things that detract. So we've got a few more comments here. You were about to say, Alan, sorry.
Yeah, I will say that there was a refreshing feeling that I felt like, just again, rehashing, going back to traditional values, telling a good, solid story, amazing special effects. It just, why are there not more movies like this?
That's what I thought. If there were more movies like this, people would be going to the movies more. Mm-hmm. Fear the Turtle 21 for 5 says James Cameron doesn't do what James Cameron does for James Cameron. James Cameron does what James Cameron does because James Cameron is James Cameron. Did I read that right? I think I did. Thank you, Fear the Turtle, for your support. And Turo hopping in the chat here. Turo, good to hear from you. I like your new film threat graphic, Chris. Very clean, very 70s. That is on purpose by design. Because I love the era in the 70s. And yeah, there you go. Anima Chains Videos has become a member. It says, okay, I'm joining. And says, okay, I'm joining. So far exclusively to this channel. You have awoken the film critic in me. I will be seeing Avatar to join the conversation.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for that. I really appreciate it. A lot of new members today. Really good discussion. Alan it's over here. Just a second. I got to make sure like was in a bag here. It's the here it is. We'll start the cam again. It's here it is. I had to dig this up. It's the package that came to Alan from Disney.
Oh,
and it's just a bunch of it's just a bunch of cash.
Again, go see Avatar with the Way of Water 5-6 times this weekend. Let's just show our support to the greatest corporation, multi-corporate, mega corporation in the entire world.
There you go.
I feel bad because I feel like we're pushing this like RRR, and
I love RRR. It's one of my favorite films of the year, and also stands out with moral values, family values,
patriotism, for crying out loud.
Yeah. Daniel, for £5 says, do I see it with my cinema pass at my local cinema, or is it worth the extra travel and cost to see it in IMAX? I'd say IMAX, but that's just me.
Yeah, at least the first time.
Yeah. And then, at least the first time see it. Thank you for your comment there. And there was someone mentioned that Alan had a gold bar under his seat. I didn't even know about that. MK Solid 82 says,
warm.
Even though there was a gold bar placed under Alan's seat, I do believe him that Avatar was good. Well, thank you.
It's very comfortable, by the way.
That's going to wrap it up for us today, folks. Even though there's 1,000, we're not used to getting a lot of people watching us. We're kind of growing this channel. This is new for Alan and I. We are live every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific time, and on Fridays at 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon Eastern. Thank you so much for watching us today. This Friday, we're going to be talking about other films that open in theaters. We're going to be interviewing the filmmakers. If you're a Doctor Who fan, tune in on Friday. We're going to be talking with the filmmakers behind a new documentary called Doctor Who Am I?, which is a documentary about the Doctor Who feature-length film that was made and showed on Fox in the 90s, and no one remembers this movie. Very interesting documentary. Alan, anything to plug? What do you want to tell people?
Yeah, definitely filmthreat.com. We have more reviews coming out. Our writers are motivated. We're seeing the big Oscar bait movies this year, and those reviews will be coming out over the next few weeks.
Cool. And thank you for your support on social media. If you went to my Twitter and defended my dumb tweet, I thank you for taking the time to do that. I really appreciate each and every one of you. We'll be back Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, as always. Want to thank Glanuccio in the chat, killing it as always. It's been a fun show today, and we will see you next week. Alan, anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I'm performing. If you're in San Diego, I'll be at the National Comedy Theater on Saturday at 7:30.
All right, and anything else you want to say?
Yeah, let's get out of here.